Hi guys, today I want to talk about the one thing that can help you to never feel powerless again, and that is self-accountability. Self-accountability can sound intimidating at first, but once you start really understanding what it can look like, it empowers you in so many different ways in your life, and you never feel like you're the victim again. All right, so what is radical self-accountability? Radical self-accountability is taking a responsibility for every single thing that happens in your life, good or bad. It's nobody else's fault. There's no one else to blame. It is always you. And the reason why I say this sounds scary to a lot of people because I think a lot of us sometimes get really used to blaming others and blaming our circumstances and blaming things that have happened to us in the past for a reason of why we're not able to show up today, show up right now as the best version of ourselves. When if you can view the things that you have experienced or went through or things that you feel like have been done to you as lessons and something that you can become empowered from, you will actually quantum leap and go so much further and also navigate life completely different through a different lens because you're not going around feeling like you are always the victim or at the whim of God or the universe. This is really about recognizing that you are the creator of your own reality. And when people are faced with that truth that they create their own reality, they're like, there's no way I created this mess that I'm living in right now. And it's like, yeah, girl, you did. And it's okay because you might not have known the laws of the universe. Like when I created a lot of things in my life, I didn't know the laws of the universe at that time. And it was like, oh, okay. Well, now I can look back and see exactly how I did create all of those experiences and all those things that I went through. And one of the analogies that I like to reference is you could think of life like a video game, like you're playing The Sims or really any other video game. But when you play that game and something happens to your character in there, like let's say you went left instead of right, or you bought this instead of buying that, and there like something happens to your character in the game, and you're just like, dang, that sucks. But next time I'll do better. Or like now I know that when I do that, that happens. And that's the exact same way that you should look at life is like it's just a learning lesson. You're always learning new things and you're trying things out. You're having these experiences and things are happening to you. And you can choose to either be empowered by that and learn something from it, or you can become a victim or grow more into your shell or grow resentful because of what has happened. And I'm telling you, every single time when you take that empowered lens, you are empowered. When you have the mindset, when you have the belief that everything that happens to you is a lesson, that there is some expansion that can come from anything that happens to you, no matter how bad it was, you will be more empowered and able to navigate life in a completely different way. And this changes everything because you will start noticing things and it won't even be that big of a deal. Actually, I just want to say this right now. I don't want to wait any longer in the video to say this because I know some people are very sensitive. I just want to say now, if you are dealing with some things, you're dealing with some clinical depression, anxiety, things like that, anything that's been medically diagnosed, this is not the page for you. That's not who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to anybody that is not ready to just be completely accountable for their life. That's just the truth. And it's okay if you're not. There's no tea, there's no shade. That's just not who this page is for. I can't help you. This is for the girlies who are ready to take full control of their life. They're ready to be as empowered as possible. And they are ready to just try something different and do something new because they know that it's inside of them. That's who this page is for. So if you are going through any of the other things, you're healing some things, you're feeling triggered when you watch my content, you just may not be ready for it. And so with that, I will say, I just want to say this now, if you have had any type of assault, of violence, anything like that that was done to you, I am in no way saying that you were asking for it, it's your fault, it's not your fault. But I am saying that you can choose to either be a victim to what happened to you, or you can be empowered by it. It's not to say that whoever did it or whatever happened, that it's not their fault, but it is just saying that you now get to choose how you want to move forward from whatever has happened to you. That is up to you. Your healing is up to you. That's not up to them. They have their own healing. Whoever did whatever, like that's on them. But it's up to you to decide how you will move forward for yourself. So, anyways, when you adopt this belief, you'll start to see how everything in your life is directly a result because of you. I feel like I've told this story before, but I had to run to CVS because I had ran out of my mousse that I use for my hair. And I looked a mess, obviously. And I'm like, I hope nobody notices me. Please, nobody notice me. Nobody notice me. I don't want to be seen. I just want to be like invisible. And I go there and I'm like checking out. And I was having like some issues with the system or whatever. And the lady that was working behind the counter, she was helping somebody else at first, but then they were gone. But she didn't come over to help me. But then another lady came to the other machine and she was having issues at the machine. And that's when she like all of a sudden noticed that people were there. And so she ran over to help that lady first, even though I had been standing there longer. And I got so mad for an instant. And then by the time she came over to help me and I was walking out the door, I started laughing because I remembered that I had set the intention before I came into here that I didn't want to be seen. I wanted to be invisible. I didn't want anybody to see that I was like even existing. I wanted to just move through the space looking a mess and nobody saw me. And that is exactly what happened. Now, if I had chose the victim perspective, I'd have been like, that lady didn't see me. I could say, I don't know, because I'm black and the other lady was white or whatever. She just didn't like me. She was ignoring me. She had something against me and I had to stand there and wait. And I just can't believe the service industry is so terrible these days and you could never get any good help around here. And I could have went on a whole rampage blaming this lady that did not see me when I know. But this, you have to first know that you create your reality. And because I knew that and I know the intention I literally said, I remembered the intention I set, I could not even be mad at her anymore. That she completely didn't see me, completely missed me, because that's the intention that I had set. And by taking radical self-accountability, I was able to just laugh this off instead of going on a whole rampage because I traced back exactly where I had went wrong. And not all the time will you be able to go exactly back to where you went wrong. Sometimes it might take some days, it might take some weeks, or maybe God will have to give you that download of where you played into whatever happened, but it eventually will all reveal itself when you need to know why a certain thing happened or the lesson that you were supposed to get from it. And so humans tend to default to blame because it's able to take that responsibility off of ourselves. We can say, well, he did that and he did this and he took away this and he did that and it takes the power out of our hands and it makes it seem like we're helpless. And for some reason, well, not for some reason, but when we're growing up, I think it's a lot of when things happen as a kid and, you know, your parent is scolding you and you're like, well, so-and-so told me to, or so-and-so pushed me that way, or da-da-da-da-da. It was very easy as a kid to like blame others and put that responsibility on someone else so that everybody in the room can kind of be like, oh, okay, like you're not bad, or like, oh yeah, it wasn't your fault. But no, like take accountability. And it also allows us to stay in our comfort zone for the hard changes that we have to make. When you know that there are some things that you need to be doing and you're not doing them, it's very easy to blame it on your childhood. It's very easy to blame it on your parents. It's very easy to blame it on your job. It's very easy to blame it on those girls hating online. Like, it's so easy to put that blame on to somebody else when you can be fully empowered in yourself and decide that nobody gets to knock you off your square. Nobody gets to affect your reality except for you. The only time other people can affect your reality is when you let them. And I'm not a robot. I'm not perfect. Like, this is still an ongoing thing always. But the more you practice taking radical self-accountability, the more in control you feel about your life. And you don't get as mad. You don't get as upset because you know, like, it was you, babe. You're looking to see if it was someone else, but it was you. Now, I just want to reiterate this part again. If you've experienced something traumatic, assault, abuse, extreme loss, it is not your fault, but it is up to you to decide how you move forward. Do you want to stay trapped in victimhood, or do you want to use your experience to empower, inspire, and help other people? And truly, a lot of these moments where we felt so much pain and hurt is when there's so much untapped power there, because you know what it's like to overcome whatever it is that has happened to you, whatever you've experienced. Turn that pain into power. Think about how many businesses, organizations, movements were started from somebody's story of pain, of heartbreak, of loss. and how they alchemize that and turn that into something powerful and turn that into something that helps so many other people that may be going through what they're going through. Your testimony can be somebody else's survival guide, and that's powerful, but it starts with you being willing to turn that pain into power. Like, I can't even just literally thinking about so many different organizations that we encounter every day that were started from somebody's pain, whether it was something really small or something really big. But there's a lot of power in your pain. And when you recognize that there's power in your pain, it stops hurting so much, because you know that on the other side of this, there is power, there is peace, there is boundaries, there's growth, there's elevation. But that starts with knowing that you create your own reality, and that no matter what happens to you, you're going to take control. Like, you are running things. And healing and processing, of course, has to come first with whatever you're going through. If you're going through something traumatic or extreme, or you've had a traumatic experience, healing and processing that has to come first. I'd recommend a therapist, or whatever church, whatever you do your process, journaling. Personally, I like to journal and meditate when I'm going through something really, really heavy and I'm trying to process it. But you have to heal and process it first. I'm not telling you slap a Band-Aid over it immediately and be like, well, that was my fault. Like, no, it's not what this is about. It's about seeing what you went through, what you've experienced, deciding that you're going to heal and move forward from it and process it, and give yourself the time and the space to do that. And maybe that looks like crying or whatever, like the other things that I said. And then you're going to be empowered by it. You are going to turn that pain into power and make that decision to move forward empowered and not broken. Because so many times you will see people and their traumas, their hard experiences, the things that could be meant to broke them, from just as small as just somebody bullying them and saying like they have a big nose, to, the more traumatic things. But regardless of where it falls on the spectrum, you have to decide how you're going to move forward. Oh, that's what I was saying. I was saying, those people, and you can even see some of those people who walk around with like a chip on their shoulder or consistently in the victim mindset and victimhood. And if you believe that you are a victim, if you believe that you are just at the mercy of everybody else on this earth, and like everybody can move you, like you're easily triggered, your emotions are easily set off, yeah, it's gonna be a rough life. It's gonna be a hard time. I'm not gonna lie. But when you can become empowered and you don't allow other people to move you, and even if they move you, they don't move you for long. You're never moved longer than a day or two. Like I'm never moved longer than a day or two, tops. You can move forward more empowered. But you see those people, and those people that feel that way, that feel like they are a victim constantly, or walk around and let their victimhood be their story, their lens, their mindset, that's the way that they view and experience everything. So they're always going to continue to run into experiences where they are the victim, where they feel out of control, where they feel like they've been, taken advantage of or whatever, and continue to play out that narrative. Your new story starts now. Let your past be a lesson, not a life sentence. Choose to rewrite your narrative where you are strong, unstoppable, and in control of your destiny. And I want to finish by saying radical self-accountability is not about just blaming yourself and making yourself feel bad. I don't make myself feel bad when I take radical self-accountability. It's kind of just a neutral thing. Like when I said the thing about what happened at CVS, I'm not mad at me. I was mad at that other lady because it was super easy to be mad at her. But then I had to look at me and be like, you see where you set yourself up? And I wasn't mad at myself or anything like that. It was just something that I noticed. It's just something to realize and then adjust and then realign. It's about claiming your power and recognizing when you are creating things that you do want and you don't want in your reality because of how you view the world and how it's treating you. The moment you stop seeing life as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something that you can make happen, everything will shift. And I remember for me, like I used to think that life was just kind of life. Life was life. And like I thought I was at the mercy of God, I guess, and the people around me. And I've been able to shift that completely, and now I feel so empowered. And even when things aren't going well, even when I'm stressed or I get triggered or somebody does do something where I feel like I could blame them, I'm like, okay, it's whatever. This is just a game. This is just an experience, and we'll just grow from it. That's what are you gonna do? Are you gonna wallow? Are you gonna sit in self pity? Are you sit in victimhood? Or are you gonna grow and glow? I'm gonna choose the glow and grow every time. Every time. Can't nothing stop me, baby. Like I just gotta keep going. You just gotta keep going. And that's where the power comes from. That's what power is. When I just said that last statement, it got me thinking about the definition of power. And it says the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or the course of events. The ability to do something or act in a particular way. So when you are disempowered, you are allowing the things that have happened to you to direct or influence your behavior in the course of events of your life when you don't take that power back. I just thought that was interesting. Oh, actually, one other thing that I want to say is that this is a process, taking radical self-accountability. It may take some time for you to really be ready to be fully accountable for the things that happen in your life. But like I said, when you stop assigning that positive, negative meaning to accountability, it doesn't really move you that much. You won't feel bad. You're not going to feel that shame as much because you just know that you're just creating your own reality. This is just your experience and you get to decide how it goes. So yeah, give yourself time and grace as you start taking radical self-accountability. Thanks guys. Bye.